What if the feeling you've been trying to ignore is actually the most real thing about your life right now? What if the pull you can't explain isn't confusion, but recognition? Somewhere beyond logic, something in you already knows who is meant to find you. You've felt it in silence, in moments that didn't make sense, in a presence you couldn't see but couldn't deny. And the truth is, this connection didn't begin today. It's only now beginning to reveal itself. Close your eyes for a moment and shift your attention away from the noise around you. Instead, tune into the quiet movement happening inside you. There is something there, subtle, yet undeniable, something ancient, something that feels strangely familiar and at the same time deeply mysterious. This feeling, this pull you can't quite explain, is not an illusion. It is your inner world speaking, a language beyond words, pointing toward a connection that has never truly been broken. You may have doubted it. You may have tried to explain it away, to convince yourself it's just imagination, but the mind imagines while something deeper within you remembers. It recognizes, it knows, and what it knows is that there is someone whose energy is already intertwined with yours, someone who senses you, even when you're not physically present. This connection does not follow logic or timelines. It doesn't wait for permission. It simply exists. Right now, whether you are fully aware of it or not, the distance between you and this person is closing, not just physically, but internally. Both of you are being shaped, prepared, and guided toward a moment that will feel unavoidable when it finally arrives. Before two people can truly meet on that level, they must first become whole within themselves. The loneliness you've felt, the confusion, the emotional highs and lows, they were not pointless. They were part of your preparation, shaping you into someone capable of recognizing and receiving this connection fully. And the same transformation is happening within the other person. There is a paradox in all of this. The more you try to force or control it, the more distant it seems. But the moment you begin to trust the process, to let go of control, things start aligning in ways that feel almost unreal. You begin to notice patterns, coincidences, moments that feel too precise to be random. These are not accidents. They are signals guiding you towards something meaningful. You may also feel it in quieter ways, a persistent sense that someone is thinking about you, a feeling of emotional presence without any physical interaction. This isn't fantasy. When two people are deeply connected, their inner worlds begin to communicate in subtle, unspoken ways. You might experience it as longing, anticipation, or even a strange warmth or ache in your chest. What you are moving toward is not just a meeting, but a moment of recognition. A moment where everything suddenly feels clear, not through explanation, but through pure feeling. When you finally encounter this person, there will be a sense of familiarity that cannot be explained by time. It will feel less like meeting someone new and more like returning to something you've always known. And there may be a simple moment that carries extraordinary weight. A hug, but not just any hug. An embrace that dissolves doubt, distance, and fear all at once. In that instant, words won't be necessary. Your body will understand what your mind struggled to grasp. You will feel seen, understood, and accepted in a way that feels both new and deeply remembered. This connection isn't about perfection. It doesn't mean there won't be challenges. What it does mean is that both of you are willing to face those challenges with awareness and depth, with a purpose that goes beyond surface-level attachment. So if you feel this pull, don't fight it. If you sense something drawing closer, trust it. You are not waiting for nothing. There is a timing to all of this, even if your mind cannot fully understand it yet. What you are moving toward is not just physical closeness. It is emotional, psychological, and something even deeper. It is the meeting of two inner worlds that have been quietly preparing for each other. And sooner than you expect, what once felt distant will become real. There is a profound truth in all of this. Long before the mind begins to question or analyze, there is a silent knowing that arises from within. It doesn't come with explanations. It appears as a feeling, subtle at first, but steady and persistent, like a quiet voice that refuses to disappear. You may notice it most when you are alone, when your guard is down and your mind is not trying to control everything. In those moments, something within you reaches outward, not out of need, but out of recognition. This recognition is not built on shared memories or time spent together. It comes from a deeper part of your psyche, a place where emotional patterns and inner imprints exist. When you come across someone who resonates with that deeper layer, your entire being responds instantly. It doesn't need proof. It doesn't ask for validation. It simply knows. But the mind works differently. It wants clarity, certainty, and logic. When faced with something so intangible, it can become confused. It may create doubt, question your feelings, or try to label them as irrational. This creates an internal tension, a feeling of being pulled in two directions, what you feel versus what you think. But this tension doesn't mean something is wrong. It is part of the process. Your mind is slowly catching up to what your deeper self has already understood. Over time, as experiences unfold and patterns become clearer, your mind begins to align with that inner knowing. There may be moments when this feeling becomes intense. You might feel drawn to someone without any clear reason. You may think about them unexpectedly or sense their presence even when they are not around. If you try to explain these experiences only through logic, they may feel overwhelming or confusing. But when you allow yourself to simply observe without judgment, you start to see that there is a quiet order to it all, something meaningful unfolding beneath the surface of your awareness. When you allow yourself to truly feel this without rushing to control it or shut it down, something begins to open within you. You create space for understanding to rise naturally instead of forcing it. Over time, what once felt confusing or mysterious starts to feel normal, almost like it has always been a part of you. The connection that once seemed hard to explain slowly becomes something you accept as real. As that acceptance grows, resistance begins to fade. Your mind stops fighting what your heart already senses. Instead of questioning it constantly, your thoughts begin to support the feeling, allowing it to settle into your awareness. This is where alignment begins. Your inner world starts moving as one, where thought and emotion are no longer in conflict but flowing in the same direction. And in that state, clarity appears on its own, not as something you force, but as a quiet certainty that doesn't need to prove itself. Emotional energy does not follow the rules we are used to. It moves beyond distance, beyond time, in ways that logic cannot easily explain. Yet somewhere deeper, you accept it without needing evidence. You may have felt sudden shifts within yourself, unexpected waves of emotion, a warmth that appears out of nowhere, or even a deep ache that you cannot trace back to anything physical. These moments often seem random, but they rarely are. When two people share a deep connection, their inner worlds begin to resonate with each other, almost like they are part of the same invisible field. This connection doesn't depend on being physically close. It exists beyond circumstances, in a space where time and distance don't behave the way we expect. It doesn't move in straight lines or predictable patterns. Instead, it reveals itself through subtle experiences. Thoughts that appear suddenly, emotions that rise without warning, impressions that feel meaningful even when you can't explain why. You might think of someone at the exact moment they are thinking of you. You might feel comfort during a difficult time without understanding the source, only to later realize that they were going through something significant at that same moment. These are not ordinary coincidences. They are glimpses of a deeper connection that goes beyond what we can see. The mind often struggles with this because it wants proof. It wants something measurable, something it can analyze and define. But emotional energy doesn't work that way. It is fluid, intuitive, and constantly moving. When you stop trying to immediately question or dismiss these experiences, you begin to notice patterns that were always there but hidden from your awareness. You start to see how your inner state is influenced not just by your own life, but also by the quiet presence of another. This doesn't mean losing yourself in the connection. In fact, it requires the opposite. The more grounded and aware you are within yourself, the more clearly you can sense these subtle exchanges without becoming overwhelmed. You begin to understand that this connection is not something you need to control or define. It simply exists, shaping your emotional world in quiet but meaningful ways. At times, distance becomes part of this process. Separation can feel confusing or even painful because on the surface it looks like something is missing. But in reality, it often serves a deeper purpose. It creates space for growth that cannot happen when two people are constantly focused on each other. There are parts of yourself that you can only face alone without influence or distraction. During these periods, the longing can feel intense, as if something essential is absent. But that feeling is not there to weaken you. It is guiding your attention inward, showing you what still needs healing, understanding, or balance within yourself. Instead of seeing the distance as loss, it can be seen as preparation, a phase where you are becoming more complete on your own. The same process is happening within the other person, even if you cannot see it. They are facing their own challenges, their own realizations, their own changes. This parallel growth is not random. It ensures that when the time comes to reconnect, it is built on true alignment rather than need or illusion. It's important not to rush this stage. The urge to close the gap can be strong, but forcing things too soon can interrupt the natural flow of growth. Real connection doesn't come from urgency. It comes from readiness. When both people reach a deeper level of awareness within themselves, everything begins to settle. What once felt unstable becomes steady. What once felt incomplete begins to find balance. In this way, separation is not the opposite of connection. It is part of it. It creates the depth needed for something real and lasting to form. The longing you feel is not one-sided, even if it seems that way. The mind may doubt when there are no clear signs, no communication, nothing visible to confirm what you feel. It may question whether it is all in your head, but something deeper within you does not rely on external proof. It recognizes connection in a way that goes beyond words, beyond distance, beyond physical interaction. There are moments when someone's absence feels more present than their actual presence once did. You feel them in your thoughts, in your emotions, in the quiet moments when your mind is no longer distracted. This is not just habit or attachment. It is a deeper resonance, where two people remain connected beneath the surface. Even in silence, something continues to communicate, not through words or actions, but through feeling. You may suddenly sense closeness, intensity, or emotional shifts that seem to appear without cause. Often these reflect something happening within the other person as well. The challenge is learning to trust this without becoming consumed by it. Longing, if not balanced, can turn into obsession. It's important to remember that connection does not require constant attention or immediate action. It exists quietly, influencing both people in ways that are not always visible. When you allow the connection to exist without trying to force it into a specific shape, its depth becomes clearer, and at the same time, it begins to reveal something about you. The intensity of what you feel often reflects parts of yourself that are asking to be seen and understood. In this way, the other person becomes a mirror, helping you discover aspects of your own inner world that may have remained hidden. They awaken something within you, pushing you to explore yourself more deeply. And along this path, you may begin to notice meaningful patterns, moments that feel too precise to be random. You might come across reminders of them in unexpected places, hear their name at just the right time, or experience events that align perfectly with your thoughts and emotions. This is the nature of synchronicity. It is not about predicting the future or controlling outcomes. It is about becoming aware of the deeper patterns already unfolding in your life. The mind may try to dismiss these moments, calling them coincidence. But when they continue to appear in ways that feel meaningful and connected to your inner experience, it becomes harder to ignore that something deeper is at play. This is the point where trust becomes essential. Not blind trust in some external outcome, but a steady trust in what you feel inside yourself. There is a difference. Your deeper self doesn't respond to illusion or fantasy. It responds to what is real, to what resonates on a level that cannot be faked or forced. As you continue to notice these moments, they begin to form a pattern, almost like a quiet language made of symbols through which your inner world communicates with your conscious mind. These signs are not there to push you into action or to force decisions. They are invitations. They ask you to pay attention, to become more aware of what is happening within you and around you. The more you observe, the less lost you begin to feel. There is a growing sense that something is guiding you, not in a strict or controlled way, but through meaningful connections that slowly reveal themselves over time. At the same time, it's important not to rely on these signs too heavily. They are not meant to replace your own judgment or tell you exactly what to do. Their role is to remind you that there is a deeper layer of reality unfolding, one where your inner experiences and the outer world are connected in ways that are not always obvious. As your awareness deepens, your trust grows with it. Not necessarily trust in a specific outcome, but trust in the process itself. You begin to understand that this connection is part of something larger, something that follows its own timing beyond what the mind can immediately grasp. A reunion does not happen because it is forced. It happens when both people are truly ready, and that readiness cannot be rushed or created through effort alone. You may feel the urge to speed things up, to close the distance and bring clarity to everything you are experiencing. That desire is natural, but it does not control the timing. What truly determines it is the level of emotional and psychological alignment within both individuals. It's easy to believe that strong feelings are enough to bring two people together, but human nature is more complex than that. Feelings may begin the connection, but without awareness, unresolved fears and patterns can interfere, creating confusion or even pushing things further apart. That is why the period before everything comes together often feels like unrelated growth. On the surface, it may not seem connected, but beneath it, everything is preparing you. You may find yourself facing parts of yourself you once ignored. Old emotions may rise again. Patterns in your relationships may become clearer, and beliefs you once held may begin to shift. This is not a step backward, it is a deeper step inward. Your mind is bringing forward what needs to be understood, so it no longer controls you without your awareness. At times, this process can feel isolating. You might question why something that feels so real is not yet visible in your external life. But what is happening within you matters far more than what you can currently see. Each moment of clarity, each realization, each emotional breakthrough is building a stronger foundation. It is preparing you for a connection that is more stable, more genuine, and more aligned when it finally unfolds. And this process is not happening only within you. The other person is going through their own transformation as well, facing their own challenges and evolving in their own way, even if you have no direct view of it. This parallel growth is what makes true alignment possible. Without it, any attempt to come together would likely feel unstable or incomplete. Trying to force things before this readiness is reached often leads to frustration. You may try to create opportunities or push things forward, but when the inner work is not complete, it can feel like something is always slightly off, like the timing never quite fits. That is not failure. It is simply a reflection that the process is still unfolding. When the moment of true readiness arrives, it feels different. There is a sense of ease. Even if everything around you is not perfect, communication flows more naturally. Misunderstandings lessen. There is a shared willingness to be open, honest, and present. Challenges may still exist, but they are faced with awareness instead of avoidance. The biggest shift, however, happens within you. You no longer look to the connection to complete you. Instead, you approach it from a place of wholeness. You recognize your own value, your own identity, independent of anyone else. This removes the pressure that often comes with intense emotional bonds and allows the connection to unfold in a more natural way. It becomes less about needing something and more about sharing something real. As you continue on this path, you may notice synchronicities becoming more frequent. Small moments at first, easy to overlook, but gradually forming patterns that feel meaningful. You may see repeating symbols, hear familiar names, or experience situations that seem to reflect your inner thoughts. What makes these moments powerful is not how rare they are, but how deeply they connect to your emotional state. Your inner world does not communicate through direct instructions. It speaks through symbols, through experiences that carry meaning rather than clear explanations. These moments act as a bridge between what you are aware of and what lies beneath the surface. When they happen, there is often a brief pause inside you, a quiet recognition that something meaningful has just occurred. This pause matters. It is where awareness begins to expand. It's important to understand that these signs are not predictions. They are not telling you exactly what will happen next. They are reflections, showing you where your attention is and what your inner world is processing. When you notice repeated signs connected to someone, it does not guarantee a specific outcome. It simply shows that the connection exists on a deeper level than everyday awareness. There can be a tendency to become dependent on these signs, to look for them constantly as reassurance. But this can create imbalance, shifting your focus away from your own understanding and toward external confirmation. The purpose of these moments is not to replace your perception, but to deepen it. The key is to notice them without becoming attached to them. As you become more aware, you may see that these experiences often appear during times of emotional change. When old patterns are fading and new ones are forming, your inner world becomes more active. The boundary between what you consciously know and what lies beneath becomes thinner, allowing these symbolic expressions to surface more clearly. In this sense, synchronicities are signs of transformation. They indicate that something within you is shifting, aligning, or becoming more integrated. At the same time, it's important to stay grounded. Not every coincidence carries deep meaning. What makes something significant is the way it resonates with you. A true moment of connection feels aligned with your inner state. It brings a sense of coherence, as if different parts of your experience are coming together. When approached with awareness, these moments become tools for self-reflection. They guide you inward, encouraging you to understand not just what is happening around you, but what is happening within you. They shift your focus away from control and toward observation, from needing certainty to allowing curiosity. Over time, these experiences may begin to feel less extraordinary and more natural. This does not make them less meaningful. It simply reflects a shift in how you see the world. You begin to recognize that your inner and outer realities are not separate, but constantly interacting in subtle and powerful ways. There is a deeper truth in all of this. The longing you feel, the signs you notice, the emotional connection you experience, it all leads toward a reunion. But that reunion does not happen based on your expectations or impatience. It happens when both individuals reach a state of readiness. Readiness is not a date or a moment you can predict. It is an inner condition that develops over time. It comes from facing your fears, understanding your patterns, and growing beyond what once limited you. Both people must reach a level of awareness where the connection can exist without distortion, without dependency, and without projection. Until that alignment is reached, trying to force things often leads to imbalance. True readiness involves emotional maturity, self-understanding, and a willingness to step into the unknown together. Many people enter relationships seeking completion or validation, but this can block a deeper, more authentic connection. There is a natural intelligence within the psyche that aligns timing in a precise way. When the moment is right, things begin to shift effortlessly. Misunderstandings clear, paths cross naturally. Opportunities for connection appear without force. This is why patience and trust are so important. When the reunion finally happens, it carries a depth that goes beyond the physical. It feels like a meeting of awareness, a recognition that has been building quietly over time. There is an immediate sense of familiarity, as if you are seeing yourself reflected in another person. Words may not fully capture it. The connection is felt more than explained. A simple presence, a shared look, or a quiet moment together can carry more meaning than long conversations. It feels as though everything that led up to that moment had a purpose. At the same time, true readiness means staying grounded within yourself. It's not just about finally meeting. It's about remaining whole within that connection, aware of your boundaries while still being open to the other person. Without this balance, even the strongest connection can become unstable. But when both people are ready, something different happens. There is mutual respect, honesty, and a deep understanding of what the connection truly is. It no longer feels fragile or uncertain. It feels steady, conscious, and real. In the end, everything comes together. The timing, the growth, the emotional alignment, the quiet signs along the way. What once felt distant or unclear becomes undeniable. Not because it was forced, but because it unfolded exactly as it needed to. And when that moment arrives, it carries a sense of truth that goes beyond doubt, beyond waiting, beyond struggle. It is not something created through effort, but something recognized when both souls are finally ready to see each other clearly. What makes this kind of experience so powerful is not the idea of another person, but what it awakens inside you. The connection feels external at first, like something pulling you towards someone else, but over time, you begin to realize that it is also pulling you deeper into yourself. It exposes your patterns, your fears, your expectations, and even the ways you've been avoiding your own growth. That is why it can feel intense or even overwhelming at times, because it doesn't just bring comfort, it brings awareness. There is also a tendency to romanticize this feeling, to assume that because it feels deep, it must automatically lead to a perfect outcome. But depth does not remove complexity. In fact, it often reveals it. Two people can feel something real and still not be ready to experience it in a stable way. That is where many people get confused. They mistake intensity for readiness, when in reality, readiness comes from clarity, emotional balance, and self-understanding. Without that, even the strongest connection can become unstable or distorted. Another important aspect is how much of this experience is shaped by your own perception. The mind is very good at creating meaning, sometimes even where there isn't any. Not every strong feeling or coincidence points to a shared connection. Sometimes it reflects your own inner state, your desires, or unresolved emotional needs. That doesn't make it false, but it does mean it should be approached with awareness, Grounding yourself in reality while staying open to deeper meaning is what keeps the experience balanced rather than consuming. The idea of emotional energy traveling across distance can feel convincing because emotions are powerful and can create a sense of presence even in absence. But it's important to understand that what you feel internally is always filtered through your own mind and body. You can feel connected, think about someone often, or sense patterns, but that doesn't automatically confirm what is happening on the other side. This is why self-awareness matters so much. It keeps you from projecting your inner experience outward as certainty. At its healthiest, this kind of journey becomes less about waiting for someone and more about becoming more aware, more grounded, and more whole within yourself. You start to notice that the moments of peace, clarity, and alignment are not dependent on whether that person is physically present. They come from within. And when you reach that point, something shifts. You are no longer driven by urgency or the need to resolve the connection. You are able to let it exist without forcing it into a specific outcome. There is also a quiet discipline in learning to sit with uncertainty. Not everything meaningful can be explained immediately, and not everything that feels significant will turn into something concrete. Accepting that uncertainty without trying to control it is part of maturity. It allows you to experience depth without losing your sense of direction or identity. In many ways, the most valuable part of this experience is the transformation it creates within you. It pushes you to understand yourself more honestly, to recognize emotional patterns, and to grow beyond them. Whether or not the connection leads to a reunion, that inner development remains. It changes how you relate to others, how you handle emotions, and how you understand connection itself. Over time, the focus naturally shifts. Instead of asking when something will happen or what it will become, you begin to pay attention to how you are evolving. You notice your reactions becoming calmer, your thoughts becoming clearer, and your sense of self becoming stronger. That is where real stability comes from. And if a connection is meant to become part of your life in a tangible way, it will happen in a way that aligns with that stability, not in a way that disrupts it. It won't require constant doubt, overthinking, or emotional imbalance. It will feel grounded, mutual, and clear enough that you don't have to question it endlessly. So while the feeling of a deep connection can be meaningful, it is important to stay rooted in reality. Let it inspire reflection and growth, but don't let it replace clarity, communication, or real-world understanding. The strongest connections are not just felt internally. They are also expressed openly, built consciously, and sustained through mutual effort. You realize this was never about chasing someone. It was about becoming someone who could truly meet them. Every moment of waiting, every sign, every emotional shift was shaping you into alignment with something real. And when it finally unfolds, it won't feel forced or uncertain. It will feel natural, steady, and undeniable. Not because you made it happen, but because you became ready for it. What was once distant will stand before you, and you will recognize it not with doubt, but with a quiet, unshakable knowing.